Say to him, the next time he tells you how to drive the car, with your hand like that, shove it, bro. Hello, welcome to James May Solves the Internet's Motoring Problems. Snappy title, I know. Let's get straight on with it because I have Noah Harston on Drive Tribe addresses me Professor May, which is not correct actually. I'm only a doctor of letters, but anyway, we'll let you off. I am a young, brackets, and not terribly well off college student seeking a career in education. I'm going to be buying myself a new car in a couple of years and want something interesting and fun to drive without being too expensive, US market mind you, so a different pool to choose from. Current thoughts hover between the Fiat 500 Abarth and the Mini Cooper S two-door hardtop. But I'd ask, can you think of any other small, fun and fizzy little car to go for that are sold in the US? P.S. You've always been my favourite presenter of the Top Gear Grand Tour trio, just saying. Yes, you're right. I would say a Golf. Golf is the answer to everything, as we know, and it's the only car that really needs to exist. So yeah, the Abarth and the Mini, fine, but try a Golf as well, or a Rabbit as you may call it. So buy a Golf. I hear you. That's not actually somebody's name, I don't think. Anyway, on Drive Tribe asks, how do I tell my other half to stop telling me how to drive without hurting his man feelings? So the other half is a bloke. I don't know, people shouldn't tell you how to drive, man or woman or whatever. I mean, just, if they're about to drive into the back of something, you could sort of, have you, you know, but don't tell people how to drive. That's just bad manners. Tell him to go himself. I don't know. Can I say that on Drive Tribe? I probably can't, can I? Say to him, the next time he tells you how to drive the car, with your hand like that, shove it, bro. On Drive Tribe, Uzair Ahmed asks, Dr. James May, very formal, thank you. Is it okay to not know how to drive a manual nowadays? Does it still matter or does it not? Should it be kept relevant and why? That's an excellent question actually because, right, be a bit boring for a while. In the old days, when I were a lad, you could have, and I think you still can technically, a manual or an automatic license. My grandmother, for example, only ever had an automatic license. She had a 3-speed automatic Mini 1000. And it sort of begs an interesting question because my Ferrari is technically an automatic because it doesn't have a clutch pedal, it has paddles, and you can select automatic when you're driving around town. Now, does that mean my grandmother, God rest her, were she still with us, would be allowed to drive it on the basis that it's an automatic? And more importantly, is it essential to know how to drive a manual? I wrote about this on Drive Tribe recently, and a lot of people said, well, nothing can replace the skill of knowing how to change gears yourself, and it makes you connect with the car, and all that is true. It's an exciting, interesting, sort of slightly academic activity, but I don't think it's essential. Eventually, the manual shift is just going to be the preserve of perverts and hobbyists. Yes, it is okay to not know how to drive a manual.
I've got a friend who's got an automatic licence, but that was just because it was cheaper, because it's less lessons.
Ah, so you can spend less money on your driving lessons and then have more money left to buy a supercar with a paddle shift. Yeah, that's a great bit of advice. That's come from Lucy Brown, Drive Tribe Head of Audience Acquisition. Is that right? Great. Yes, spend less money learning to drive by going for an automatic license, then you have more money left over to buy a supercar with a paddle shift like a Ferrari or a McLaren or a Lamborghini or whatever. And then you can argue the case that it's an automatic, which it is, because there's no clutch pedal. You can drive it in automatic, or you can shift it with the paddles, but you can shift a normal automatic manually. Nobody ever objected to that, did they? So yeah, everybody should have, why has everybody got a manual license? This is not necessary. That was a good question, Uzair Ahmed, good. Steve Dads on Drive Tribe asks, my current car is a 2009 Peugeot 207. My previous car was a 2004 Ford Mustang 3.9 litre V6. What is wrong with me? Well, looking at your picture, Steve, I would say you're a middle-aged man. You're probably my sort of age. I don't think there's anything really wrong with you. I think it's perfectly normal at our sort of age to be overcome with sentimentality and nostalgia and want to buy something like a 3.9 litre V6 Mustang. So nothing to worry about. Keep taking the tablets. John Smith On Drive Tribe says, I want to get a boring looking unassuming car that can scare the crap out of someone once they are in it. Recommendations, no modifying, just a car that looks like a Peugeot but goes like a Veyron. That's a very easy question to answer. The answer is a Tesla Model S P100D. That's the high performance dual motor version, because that, as far as I know, will outdrag just about everything on the road up to 100 miles an hour or so, and nobody, unless they're car nerds and know about electric cars, would have any idea, because it looks like a sort of bland cross between a Jag and a Chevrolet. So do that, and it won't even make any noise. There's no hint whatsoever what that car can do, and it will snap people's necks. Get one of those. The answer is a Tesla Model S P100D. Emma Arsington, almost certainly not her real name, although part of me hopes it is, says on Drive Tribe, Dear Dr. May, thank you, my husband often scoffs the odd pastry product in my little iGo. What can I do to get rid of such a hideous mess? Well, you married him. I would suggest go through the divorce proceedings and find someone else on the worldwide husband. Divorce him? That's the end of the questions. I hope you've enjoyed James May Answers the Internet's Motoring Problems, and if you have enjoyed this, please leave some comments on the page and leave some more questions as well.